Hello and welcome back to the series where we try to conquer Pendor in 250 days. We're here at Yavexholm and they're actually going to sally out. Very interesting. I rushed over here straight away, by the way, so that's the reason why I'm still not, fully restored. But that's okay. That's okay. I have made Alistair one of our new vassals as well. I gave him a village. Yes, because I don't have anything else. I am going to be giving him this one when I have the opportunity to do so. I will be giving him this town when we can, and there is something a little bit worrying for me right now. I don't think we've had any additional employees recruited for our keep. And that's a little bit weird to me because if you recall, I did say that I was going to change my culture, right? I was going to change the culture of the faction, and funnily enough, we're not getting that. I don't know why. I'm not entirely... Well, that was annoying. That's really bad. Because now we lose 100 renown from this, but I guess it's not too bad because we do eliminate around 100 units, but it's never a good idea to die here. Never a good idea to die in a sally out. Oh well. Never mind. I kind of dropped the ball on that one, didn't I? Yeah, that's really quite sad, to be honest. I'm kind of a bit frustrated about that. Generally, I don't really care that much most of the time, but in this one, I actually do. Oh well, never mind. I guess it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, we have a significant amount of, party capacity as it is, so me getting a little bit of renown here and there, additionally, doesn't really make that much of a difference, you know what I mean? Doesn't really make that much difference. Oh, they're going to sally out again? Okay, well, that's very interesting. Okay, I am going to try and survive this time then, because then we would technically have gained 200. 200 renown would be fantastic. I would love to have gotten that, but I will settle for 100 then. Let's try not to get killed. The funny thing is, I was literally just minding my own business, just killing a couple of people off to the side here, and then wonderful javelin to the face, classic situation right there. And again, I don't mind that. Usually I don't mind that, but for some reason last time, yeah, not a terribly big fan. It's probably because I didn't see it coming. I mean, the funny thing is, most of the time I act like. I got shot in the face, and it's all funny because it is hilarious. It is so incredibly amusing whenever something like that happens out of nowhere. But some of the time I'm kind of thinking to myself, yeah, that's probably going to happen. This time I was actually thinking to myself, wow, I didn't see that, and I was not expecting it. So they really did a very, very good job there. Let's see. Can I get a couple of extra kills? Wouldn't mind. There we go. Oh, skirmisher. Wait a minute. It was a crossbow? It was a crossbow? These skirmishers use crossbows. That might actually be the reason why I did not see it coming. Because usually I can tell when someone's shooting at me, with a thrown weapon or something like that, because it's a pretty large projectile. But when it comes to a crossbow bolt, much smaller, isn't it? It's much smaller. Okay, so these guys are actually going to be attacking me in just a second. I'm pretty sure they will. I don't know. It very much depends. Let's actually just level up some of these guys just in case, because I have a bad feeling that they will be going for us in a second. It would be a pretty good idea for us to try for another sally out as well, because if we can sort of leverage the fact that we're getting sally outs, then I think that we can probably be pretty happy with that. Okay, here we go. No, okay, we did not get another sally out, which is sad. That's very sad, isn't it? Yes, it's very sad indeed. However, it seems like we have 2 entry points. What? Oh, I see. Okay, so the enemy is basically just waiting for us to come over the side here. Okay, that's really interesting, actually. Very, very weird. Okay, yeah, I guess we will just do that then. And I'm just going to stand here and just kind of let the enemy try to shoot me in the face. And if they want to, then that's absolutely fine, because they're just wasting ammunition right now. And as long as I can get them to waste all of their javelins and all their other things, obviously they're not going to waste all their bolts or all their arrows, but if I can get them to waste all their thrown weapons, then that's going to be good enough for me, you know? Because if they're targeting me, they're not targeting my crossbowmen, and my crossbowmen can hopefully do some pretty good damage in the meantime. Now, that does seem to be working, to a small degree at least, and I'm quite happy with that. So, best course of action for me now is wait until my cavalry get here as well, because obviously I've placed my cavalry there. Well, it seems like my archers are basically just... Yes, my archers are blocking them at the moment, which I guess is not really that bad. You know, if they're doing good damage, then I don't really care about it too much, to be honest. As long as they do damage, that's all that really matters. And apart from that, we've already killed 50. Okay, well, that's pretty nice. Now, I must admit, this is actually one of the best setups that I have seen so far. Obviously, this is very much dependent on thief layout, you know, as it always is. But as you see here, look at what is happening right now. We have an incredibly straight line of crossbowmen over there. They are on they're on equal elevation with the opponent as well. As you see right here, they're on equal elevation, maybe even slightly higher than the enemy. And they are leveraging that height to be able to get massive amounts of kills over onto the enemy's battlements. Then, of course, we do have the cavalry down in the courtyard here. Now, obviously, I didn't want them to stand with the crossbowmen, because if they stood with the crossbowmen, they'd probably block them or do any number of annoying things that would, you know, be a little bit, you know, disadvantageous. But, you know, that doesn't really matter right here, because look at what we've done. We have literally killed over 300 enemies in one round. I have not retreated. This is one round. I am extremely surprised about this, because I was thinking to myself, okay, well, this is going to be pretty difficult, because this is where a Knighthood Order of the Valkyries is, as far as I can tell, and they're pretty good from what I remember, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe yeah, maybe I'm misremembering, but whatever the case, look at that, 85 renown, absolutely insane, and we are now in the streets, and this is where we get even more of an opportunity to murder, and our companions, hopefully Julia, will be doing some pretty amazing stuff. And, well, we have our... I'm not entirely sure what this guy is doing. The Rogue Blackheart Knight. Do you not have a sword? He doesn't have a sword? If he doesn't have a sword, then that's actually hilarious, because he's running around with a lance in melee. Yes, in melee. I don't know why, but yeah, so there you go. Yeah, that's a classic that's a classic Warband problem, because obviously lances, they don't really do that much damage in melee combat, and spears in Bannerlord a little bit different. They do quite a bit of damage. Yeah, I guess it kind of depends, I suppose. Sometimes if you're playing a specific Warband mod where the spear combat has been improved in some way or another, then you're probably going to have a fine time. Julia is absolutely murdering everything, as is always the case. And who else do we have with us? I'm going to assume we just have some kind of random crossbowman. That always seems to be what we have here. And there we have it. No, it was actually Donovan. Oh, you're not very good, are you? Okay, well, there you go. That is indeed a victory for us right there. Okay, so now let's actually just take a quick look, because obviously I lost quite a few people, right? I lost quite a few people, so it's probably going to be a good idea for me to take as many of these guys as I can get my hands on. I'm going to be taking some of these. I'm going to get the Heretic Magnus. Wow, they have so many of these Vanscrew Raiders and stuff like that, but I'm probably not going to be taking many of those at all. And we could get some Dragon Drake. I'm not a big fan of Dragon Drakes, all things considered, so I'm actually going to take the Wardens instead, because the Wardens are going to level up into Ravenstone Rangers. I could take the Archers. No, they're lower level. Yeah, I mean, generally, I could take any number of these things, and they'd probably be absolutely fine. Like, for example, I could take these Ravenstone Highlanders, and they'd probably be good. But you know what? I'm actually just going to focus on Archers for the moment, and that's it. And then we're just going to leave it. And that's going to go to Lord Alistair, of course. And we're going to go into the streets by mistake, and then into the tavern on purpose. And there's Sigismund. Ah, Sigismund could actually be relatively decent. The question is, do we want to spend money getting him? I think that is actually the question right now. Do we want to spend money getting him? I guess we could. I mean, it depends. How much do we actually have? We have 36,000 right now, which is relatively decent. Yeah, okay, let's just buy a little bit of food there. Alright, fine. Let's get him. I don't have enough space, though. Yeah, I don't have enough space. Alright, so we will get him now, and in general, he's only 4,000, so we really don't have to worry about him in the least. And we're gonna just make him into a vassal straight away, and we're gonna just give him, well, anything, to be honest. Just give him anything that we can. And there we have it. Okay, so that is pretty fantastic. Now, we can actually take a look here. Where do we want to go next? The question is, I don't know what the best course of action would be now. Because, yes, I know, we should probably take a castle. But the question is, yeah, okay, fine, let's do it. I was thinking, is this gonna be a siege tower? That's the question, you know, we don't know. Okay, so we can go straight on in here. Wait a minute, where are we? Oh, it's one of these. Okay, this one, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of this layout because we are inherently on the low ground. Obviously, that makes a bit of a problematic difference. However, it does increase our efficiency with our ammunition. That is one thing that it really does do. And indeed, we are now in the battlements right here. We are inside the keep. This is a completely different castle to what we were at before, and I was basically just standing outside because, you know, that's what we do. You know, I generally tend to try to maintain my HP as much as possible in these situations because I don't really want to have to regenerate myself in between sieges if I can, because that then takes even longer. And we don't want to spend any longer than we have to when we are on the world map. So, point is, yeah, this is a completely different castle, and you can see here we have completely destroyed the garrison here. There were 2 vassals inside, but they were not particularly strong, so we don't have to really worry about them too much. Now, this is indeed, I think this is the, let's see. This makes only 3 castles remaining. 87. Look at that. 87 renown right there. Pretty crazy. Alright, okay, we can go in. Let's see if we can win this. Got to be a little bit careful of the thrown weapons and indeed some of the crossbowmen as well. But thankfully, wow, I'm actually surprised I got all those kills. Very strange. All right, there you go. That is nice. And we can now let these guys go. We also rescued a Ravenstone vassal, which is actually not going to help us that much in the very near future. And here we go. Okay, so I have another 10 spaces. Well, what are we going to take? Well, probably the Mounted Ranger, I suppose. And what else do we have here? Rogue Blackheart Knight. I mean, they're always good. Don't get me wrong. They're always good. It's just, you know, if they are unable to do anything in melee, they're not going to be that powerful. Which is a little bit sad. But yeah, there's only 3 spaces. I'm not actually going to do anything with these guys. Going to give this to Lord Alistair once again. I haven't really given anything to Lord Sigismund just yet because I want this guy to get a significant amount. Okay, so let's actually have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoa, there's still 7. Still 7 castles? That's pretty crazy. Okay, well, hopefully we can discount some of them because they are siege tower castles. No. Wow. Okay. Whoa. If these are all ladder castles, this is going to be a pretty large time expense. I'm not a terribly big fan of that, but well, what can I do? Right? What can I do otherwise? There's nothing else I could do. We just have to go for it and see what happens. And I can only be extremely thankful that my forces are not taking significant casualties in these sieges. We are taking some casualties, of course, but we're weakening the majority of the enemy before we even enter. You know, before we even go in to the battlements themselves. Like, look at what we're doing right now. This is exactly what I do every single time. We just stand outside, let my crossbowmen do all the damage, and then we are done, basically. And then I can pretty much just relax a little bit more. And that is wonderful, because that means that we can go in and I won't have to worry about my forces dying to extremely high tier units, at least initially. Of course, there's always the possibility that there will be some high tier people and they will, you know, spawn in or something like that, and there's always that possibility. And indeed, we've only eliminated 36 of them. I feel like we should probably charge in right now. And this is another one of those situations where you just have to kind of use your judgment of the situation at hand. Immediately thinking to myself right now, yeah, they're going to be receiving reinforcements soon. We know that, you know, if you've played the game for long enough, you're going to kind of know, you're going to kind of understand a little bit more about when enemies are going to receive reinforcements, the timing of such things as well, and basically being able to just decide, oh yes, I should charge in now. This should be our moment, our decisive moment to make the, you know, closing infinite blow against the you know, multitudes of enemies that we have available here. And you know, it's going to be actually quite dangerous. Yeah, very, very dangerous. I'm not going to go up there. I am literally just going to stay here. I jumped very much on purpose there. I don't want to go up there and die. I thought to myself, oh, we're going to have an easier time. But no, it's not going to be that easy. We're going to suffer quite a few casualties in this one. And there it is, 43 renown for us, and we did end up losing quite a few people, 12. It's not too bad, not too bad. I mean, obviously, 43 renown means that the quality of unit in here was not actually that good. And the only reason why we lost people is because they were defending. And that's it, you know, they were defending, and that's all there is to it, basically. So anyway, we're going to be giving this to Lord Sigismund, finally, so he can actually, you know, stop complaining a little bit. And we're going to go over to Eversword Castle. I think this is actually a siege tower, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that, of course. And that is indeed the enemy leader. Very interesting. Yeah, that is indeed a siege tower. Okay, yeah, as I thought. And this, I think, is also a siege tower, and it is currently under siege by the Ravenstern. Okay, that's very interesting. I guess that is saving me a little bit of time. Maybe. To a certain degree, not really, because I am going to be fighting against the Ravenstern afterwards as well, which is, yeah, quite funny. All right, so Highcliffe Castle it is then. Yes, we have another ladder castle on our hands here, and you know what's really funny with this challenge? I don't even look to see what they even have. I just can't. There's no option. You see what I mean? That's the funny thing about that. I usually would be, you know, oh, what do they have here? What kind of composition do they have? Do I need to be careful about it? And so on and so forth. No. Actually, in this case, I don't need to worry about that because I am forced into taking it. I am forced into coming in here. Radiant Boar Knight. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen these guys. That must be one of those new knighthood orders that were added after the fact, because I don't remember these guys at all. Unless I've just never seen them. It might be the fact that I've just never seen them. I don't know, but I don't remember them at all. Very, very surprising. Anyway, we should be completely fine here. Obviously, this is a pretty terrible... yeah, I mean, the layout is not that bad. It is a little bit annoying because I would prefer that one of these hills right here were a little bit higher, because if we actually had a slightly, you know, decent-ish elevation, I'd be able to put all my archers up there. And then we'd have a great time, because, as we know, Fyrdsvain Fiefs, they're not actually very good in regards to their defensive nature. They are extremely, extremely easy to penetrate. As you can see right here, look at me, I'm already in. I'm already in, and I am already having a very satisfying time behind them here. And it is very, very, you know... easy to get through here. Now, the funny thing is, obviously, I'm getting shot by all these thrown weapon guys and, you know, all the crossbowmen and all that stuff. So, of course, I'm going to get killed. But look at what we have here. All my guys are on the battlements. They're all completely fine, and they are going to win this. It is just a matter of time. Alright, so we got 58 renown for that, and we did end up losing a handful of troops, just as you do, you know, and 349 were eliminated. Now we can make our way through into the keep, and we can hopefully eliminate these without taking too many casualties here, or at the very least, hopefully I'm not going to die. Because, funnily enough, Fjordsvane, they're kind of a little bit similar to the Nords when it comes to, I mean, obviously they are basically the Nord equivalent for Pendor, but basically, Fjordsvane archers always give me the same kind of feeling that Nord archers give, where they're a little bit nefarious, because they are, on the one hand, not actually that, I mean, they're not very good. Let's just say that. They're not very good when it comes to ranged attacks. They're decent, don't get me wrong, they're decent, but in melee is where they truly shine, and it's hilarious how much damage I have actually taken just purely from them, from archers, from Fjordsvane archers in melee. They're actually really, really good in melee, which is super funny because I'm always taken unawares by that. I don't know why, but that always seems to happen. Anyway, we are... I don't even know what to really take here, to be honest. I'm not really a big fan of taking Ravenstone units because we're about to face them, you see. We're about to face them, and I'm not a big fan of having mirrored units here. I guess I could just do this and then take the Maiden Cavalry. I do like the Maiden Cavalry quite a bit. We could take these. More Heretic Magni. Very nice. Okay, we can just leave the rest here. Okay, so we're going to be giving this to Lord Sigismund once again. It doesn't really matter who we give it to be honest, at this point. But yeah, we can go over to Longbeard Lodge. Now, I am assuming that that is going to be a siege tower, but let me actually just have a quick look and see whether that is indeed the case. It is a siege tower, yeah, okay. And then we can go over to Gundar's Lodge as well. I'm just getting information right now because we are going to be heading over to Marlians in just a moment. Don't worry about that. You may have thought, he's going to ignore that. No. I'm just getting some information here. Okay, so I already know that Hrolfsson Castle is a ladder castle. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our way over to Marlians, and then I will be making my way over to Hrolfsson Castle after this as well. And that is basically going to be a game over situation for the Fjordsvane then. And we are just going to hope that they maybe decide that they want to make peace with us. So we now have Marlians, of course, and there are 129 people in here, plus the vassals units. Now, this is obviously not going to be exceptionally good for us, and generally... oh, actually, wait a minute. Oh, I remember now. Okay, never mind. Marlians is actually going to be very, very simple for us. I thought this was going to be one of those sieges that is not very good, but actually, yeah, no. We're going to be completely and utterly fine here because this is... this. Yes, it's extremely, extremely strong for us to come in here. I am just going to act as a bit of a distraction for the moment. And even if I do get killed, then that's just how things are going to have to be. But hopefully my forces will get in here before I die. Because I would very much appreciate actually living here, because I don't want my forces to charge in. And then I'm going to have to change their, change their orders while I'm dead. And that's going to be an annoying scramble. And I don't really want to have to rush to do that. So hopefully I will just live. There we go. Okay, yeah, we are now living, and this is going to be a very, very easy victory. Or it should be an easy victory for us. And there it is. I decided to stand outside because, let's face it, I'm not gonna try to risk myself right here. And otherwise, we can. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna need to do a little bit of something here. I'm gonna need to get some food or something like that in just a moment. Okay, we do have 3 spaces. We didn't lose that much, thankfully. I'm gonna take a Phoenix Risen here. I'm gonna take an Empire Mortal, and we'll take a Ravenstone Ranger or something like that. I guess that seems relatively decent. And then we're just going to give this to Sigismund. Why not? I mean, he needs a castle. No, he needs a town anyway, so might as well. And then we're just going to take all this loot. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Good food. And this is what we currently have going on outside here. So King Ulrich only has 168. I'm actually quite surprised that Salian is still around. And I'm kind of thinking to myself right now, do we just want to attack them? As in, do we just want to take Harengoth Castle? Do we just literally want to take Harengoth Castle? It is their final castle. It makes sense, don't you think? It's going to take me 36 hours, though, which is a big time expense for the challenge itself. I do still have the Ravenstern to eliminate, and technically the Empire as well, and, you know, all the others, but the thing is, not sure if we can... I don't know, I'm not sure if we want to... Oh, wait. Oh, no. Okay. Hello. See, this is exactly the reason why I didn't want to do this. Okay, yeah, we're not going to do that. Okay. We're not going to do that. That is just fundamentally a... that was actually quite funny. I wonder, did the Salian vassals actually do that on purpose? Did they? I surely not, right? They're not that smart. But it would be very funny if they did, because they literally basically dragged the 3 seers into me. And that basically caused me to have a huge problem. So very, very funny, actually, that they decided to do that. Anyway, let's go on in to Hrolfsson. Oh. Ah. Well, yes. Now these are the moments where we just go, what actually happened right there? Yes, I did a very good job, didn't I? Yes. No, not at all, not at all. Okay, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. They have 10 demonic magni, as far as I know, and I'm not a terribly big fan of fighting these guys. It is a huge waste of time and effort and units and basically anything for us to fight them, because they don't have a unique spawn. There is no benefit to me attacking them at all. So, well, basically the first thing that I can do, as in, if I can just kill around 20 or so units, I am then going to get out of here as fast as possible, and that's it. I'm just going to try to retreat. And then... well, and then that's it. That's going to hopefully be the... that's going to be my course of action here. I will try, at the very least. I wish we would get more kills than this, to be honest. Okay, we are getting quite a few kills. Okay, that's wonderful. So we're going to retreat now. And we're going to leave. There we go. Okay. So now we can literally make our way out of here. And then we don't have to really worry about dealing with them. I mean, here's the funny thing. I probably could win against these guys. But it would take me a very, very long time. And I would have to do a standard go in, shoot a bunch of people, wait until, you know, I've you know, expended a bunch of, you know, crossbow bolts and stuff like that, and then go and retreat, go back in, and then rinse and repeat that particular strategy. And I don't really want to have to do that. So instead, what we're going to do is we're just going to leave all this, and we're just going to go to the Ravenstern. And that's it. We're just going to go to the Ravenstern. And if the Kingdom of Salian wants to continue being a pain, then they're going to continue being a pain. It is going to be a little bit problematic for us over the course of the last little bit that we have to do here, but I guess we can just see. Oh, look at this! Lord Alistair has founded a chapter house of the Order of the Golden Stag in Iron Oak Castle. Oh, that's very nice of him, isn't it? Okay, well, very good. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Senderfall, and that's going to be my first conquering. And I'm not sure... The question is, do we want to actually go to war against the Ravenstern right now? I think we probably should. Because time limits and so on and so forth, it's probably going to be a good idea for us to bite the bullet on that and just do it. But the main problem is going to be that we are then going to be at war against so many factions at once. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing. You see, I'm not sure if that's a good thing. So we might have a bit of a problem there. Okay, Fierdsvain and the Ravenstern made peace. That is actually pretty bad for me as well. I was kind of hoping that they would still be at war against them. Okay, I'm gonna just attack something really, really random here. What about these rangers? Can I attack them? No, they ran in. Of course they did. Okay, so they're gonna take Malians again. That's a very strange thing to do, to be honest. I feel like they're being a bit weird about that. Okay, there's Duke Adarian. We are going to be attacking him. Hello there, sir. Goodbye. Yes, I will be attacking you. There we are. Alright, so this guy is obviously going to be extremely simple for us to eliminate. At least I hope so. And yeah, oh yeah, we are completely outnumbering him massively here. And there it is, 23 renown and 20 morale. Obviously the morale is going to come in mighty handy for us here. Now this guy is actually kind of crazy because he's someone that has a huge amount of Silver Mist Rangers. Now Silver Mist Rangers are a knighthood order that I feel is very good. They're actually very, very strong. We're now going to be attacking them, as you can see. And I wonder if I can... No, I can't take a look at their stats right now. Can I actually have a look at the troop trees? Okay, here we go. Knighthood, Order Knights. There we go. Okay, so let's just take a quick look here if I can... Yeah, there we go. Silver Mist Rangers. So this is what they currently look like when it comes to their stats. They're very strong just purely because... they have some very powerful bows, great arrows, they've got some strong armor, and their archery proficiency is 450. Now, if we were to take a look at the Doom Guides, for example, Doom Guides are insane, right? Like, these guys literally destroy. And this is why these are some of my favorite units in the entire game, just because they are so incredibly strong. But you could see here, even they have less proficiency than the Silver Mist Rangers. And then, of course, you have the Noldor Twilight Knights, who are just a league of their own. We do not want to even mention them because they are literally having 600 proficiency. In comparison, the Noldor Rangers, they even have less than the Silver Mist Rangers. So if you really want to go for a knighthood order, and you want to do that in this particular challenge, you could go with the Silver Mist Rangers, and you'd probably have a very, very good time there if you were able to get a good source of level ups, or shall we say a good source of conversions with the prerequisite to the Silver Mist Rangers. Because you're going to need whatever it is that they level up from, and you're going to need a bunch of that. And it might be a bit difficult to get that, dependent on various factors. So that's the reason why I didn't really join a knighthood order. But I personally would think that the Silver Mist Rangers would most likely be the one to go for if you were going to go for a knighthood order. Maybe there are so many to choose from, so there are probably going to be some that will be better. But from my perspective, I feel like, yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. I don't know, that sounds pretty good. Wow, yeah, Silver Mist Rangers. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Silver Mist Rangers. I turn my back for a second just to reposition some of my troops, and I immediately get shot for my entire HP bar. And I'm gonna have to retreat now. Aren't I? Yeah, I'm gonna have to retreat now. That is very annoying, actually. That is very annoying, but I can't do anything about it, you know? I can't do anything about it. They're just... I have to do it. And Yavixholm is now under siege by the Fierdsvain, which is to be expected, of course, as well. But yeah, we are going to have a much easier time of doing this now, because I now realize just how dangerous these guys are. Obviously, beforehand, I kind of realized as well, but I wasn't taking them as seriously as I am now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide here like a very brave person. Yes, a very brave person indeed. Kavera, you're braver than I am. Yes, she's going there with no shield. Yeah, that is to be expected, of course. Okay, so we can only just hope that our forces are going to be able to get in there and spread out relatively quickly, and then they can start slaughtering a bunch of the enemy. And this is the funny thing. Yeah, okay, fine. Silver Mist Rangers are pretty strong, right? Well, yeah, they are. However, the supporting cast, as in all of the others, you know, Ravenstone Rangers and so on and so forth, they're not as good, obviously, and so as a result, the Silver Mist Rangers do have a lot of problems. That's the reason why, if you were to use them as your only knighthood order, and generally you know, if you were to try to get like a critical mass of Silver Mist Rangers, I think it would be very difficult to do that to begin with, at least with the time limit. But it is also going to be that you need a critical mass, otherwise you won't be able to be as effective as potentially what you would want to be in that situation. I mean, we've already eliminated 55 now, and that's exactly the reason why I wanted to stay behind here, because I don't want my forces to charge in, and indeed, obviously, I can command them, you know, when I'm dead. I can, of course, command them when I'm dead, but I don't really trust myself to do a good job with that. So, yeah, as you can see, we're actually doing pretty nicely here. My forces are not angled exactly the way I'd like, but I'm not going to take the time to do that, just in case I get sniped again. Alright, so this was really, really dangerous. This was probably one of the most dangerous sieges we've had so far. I literally sustained 18 casualties total, but with an additional 40 that were wounded, thanks to our surgery skill, most of them were saved. So 83 renown right there. I could technically have retreated and then come back in if I wanted to restore my crossbowmen and then go back in and, you know, rinse and repeat and do the whole, you know, song and dance sort of thing. But I decided that actually what I would prefer to do is just go straight on in. I don't know whether you've noticed, but I am suffering a little bit at the hands of my weekly wages at the moment. And so me losing a handful of troops is only going to be beneficial to me right now, because I don't really want to go bankrupt in the course of us doing this. And the funny thing is that I'm probably going to be giving myself Senderfall after this, even though I don't really feel like I need anything extra, but we are going to need some form of cash flow increase, because otherwise we are going to be in a situation where I am going to run out of money. And the funny thing is, I'm not really getting good loot. That's the funny thing. Like, a lot of the loot that I'm picking up is not very good. I could take quite a few pieces of loot, and that might make sense, you know, from a, shall we say, quantity standpoint, but it just doesn't seem worth it most of the time. Most of these things that you can pick up are going to be, you know, around 500 to 1,000, and that's just not enough in my opinion. It just doesn't seem good. Like, look at this, 1,200, 1,100, 1,100, you know, it's not really going to get me that much, which is unfortunate, but I mean, what else can I do? Anyway, let's just have a quick look-see here. I will take these. I will take... Yeah, well, I guess I could take the Sarlian Halberdiers. I could take the Armored Longbowmen. I guess they're okay. And otherwise, everything else is not looking particularly good right here. So we are just going to leave the rest. And we are going to be having it for myself, as I said. Going to have it for myself right here. Gonna see if I can sell some of this stuff for a decent amount. As you can see, because of my trade skill, or, well, just generally because of the trade deficit, we are now going to be suffering a pretty hefty penalty here. And I'm only going to be getting 2,000 from this. Only 2,000. Just think about that. 2,000 from all that loot. Really not very good. Now let's have a look. Do I have a... No, I do not have a baggage train. Okay, I do not have a baggage train, so I am going to go and get one. Sister Mora is here as well. Yeah, so we'll get the baggage train right there. And now this is... Because this is my castle, I might actually be able to do something here. Yeah, here we go. Prepare another baggage train. Thank you very much. We can also train him a little bit if we want to. Could send the quartermaster to go and get some people. And... I actually wonder whether we're going to have the opportunity to recruit some more individuals here. I was kind of hoping that we would be able to. Ah, yes, we also have... Oh, hello. Oh, yes, yes. Look at this. We've got some very, very good boots here. Okay, I very much appreciate that. That's great. And let's train our town steward. That's going to take 18 hours. I think it's actually worth it sometimes to spend a little bit of time training your steward. Especially in this particular situation. Valenbray is being attacked by the heretic army. Okay. If they want to waste their time doing that, then that's all, you know, it's obviously up to them. I'm perfectly happy with that. And Marlians is going to get taken again, which I really I don't care about that in any way. That is really not that big of a problem at all. Let's go and build a shrine. It's going to take 9 days to do that. Doesn't really matter either way anyway about that. And let me actually just go in here now and just have a look. See, the question is there a way that I can recruit anyone else? It doesn't look it doesn't look like that. Like, I've just got the Seneschal, I don't have the Chamberlain, I don't have the, the Constable guy either, which is a little bit weird. I'm not entirely sure why we're not getting those fellows, but yeah, we're getting a little bit unlucky in that regard, I guess, or something has gone on in that regard, I don't know. A little bit strange. Anyway, there's 9 Pendor militia here. I'm kind of hoping that he's going to send more people. Is he going to send more people? I can only hope he will. But we've taken this now at the very least. So this is what the map is currently looking like. It's looking pretty good, apart from the fact that Marlians got taken back, of course. Just ignore that. I will be taking that back off screen. Don't worry about it. And it's going to be easy enough. And then we are going to move on to Ravenstern, then move on to Rain, then move on to Poinsbrook, and then we'll take the rest, if we can. Obviously, we're going to try to ignore siege towers as much as possible. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.